What's up guys, I am back with another car review video for you guys, and today I have my 2017 Buick Encore. I'm going to take you guys on a walk around the vehicle, show you some clips and stuff of the outside, show you some clips of the interior, go over the features and stuff, and then I'll also go on a drive along and show you guys what I do and don't like about the vehicle. I wanted to do a car review video because I did a poll on Facebook to see what kind of videos you guys wanted to see me put on the channel, and car review videos were kind of up there at the top. So I figured I'd start with this, especially because this is my own car. The reason why I wanted to start with my car is because obviously I know it a little bit better than any other car because I've had it for a while. I also have some insights into why I picked this car versus other cars that might be in the subcompact SUV segment. I've had it for about a year now, so over the last year I've kind of figured out the quirks and the different features about it, what I do like about it, what I don't like about it. And then in the end, I'll be able to give you guys a well-rounded opinion on whether or not I think you guys should buy this, who this car is for, and overall, is it a good value for the money? So I'm gonna start off this car review video by prefacing that I am a filmmaker and a tech nerd first. As you can see on my license plate, it says filmmaker. I'm a full-time filmmaker, so really my heart lies within filmmaking first, but then I also have a slight obsession for cars too. So if I kind of get anything wrong or if I say something wrong about the segment, feel free to comment below and correct me. I'm trying to learn and be better at this, so feel free to let me know. So on my model, again, which is the preferred package, it has keyless entry and push start. So obviously you can unlock it that way, or you can go up to the door handle and you can click the little button there and it opens right up. So once you step inside the vehicle, obviously you can put your keys anywhere you want. And then there's a nice little push button start right here. Put your foot on the brake and it starts right up. So one thing that I really liked about this car when I was looking at it and cross-shopping between other cars in this segment is the quality of the materials in here. Now, when you're talking about the entry-level subcompact SUV market, you're not gonna get the highest quality materials, but that's why I was really impressed by everything that's laid out in here. So it comes standard with a leather-wrapped steering wheel. The seats down here have this nice, I'm not sure if it's leather or if it's pleather, but anyways, it feels very nice. Soft to touch leatherette material on the sides here. All my friends always laugh at when I get into different cars is they always laugh at me for knocking and feeling every single surface of the car. And that's something that I did immediately when I got into this car, and I was very impressed with it. There's soft touch plastic up here. There's this nice, like, I mean, that's hard plastic right there, but it looks nice. And then you have this leather or leatherette insert right here. The buttons have very nice feel and resistance to them. And then about halfway down the door, you do get hard plastic, which is kind of to be expected in an entry-level car like this. This dash all up here is relatively squishy. Nothing in here really strikes me as feeling very milk cartony until you get down to the very bottom where you get to these door pockets. But another thing that I really liked is all of the door pockets and all of the bottle holders and stuff. There's a lot of area to hold stuff, especially for how small this car is. You have a nice armrest here. Passenger doesn't get an armrest, but a nice little center console. You can put stuff in. Cup holders. I kind of wish there was something to slide over the cup holders so I didn't have to look at them because I like stuff being minimal. And then you have this little tray here. It's where you're supposed to be able to put your smartphone. And I have one major gripe about this. So I'm not sure if this is just my car or if other people have this issue too, but something that I've noticed is that the maps don't work when you put it down here. I'm not sure if that's because this car comes equipped with 4G LTE Wi-Fi, is that somehow this frequency and this receiver is messing around with the information that's going to my phone. Basically, when I'm using CarPlay on my iPhone and I'm using Apple Maps, it gets all wonky and it goes all over the place, and I end up having to store it back here, which kind of defeats the purpose of this, and I end up not ever putting anything in that, which is kind of annoying. I will say that from driving the 2016 model to driving the 2017 model, the infotainment system in this is so much more beautiful. I really like the metal or faux metal finishes they have here, and it's a nice big screen. I would say it's pretty responsive, not quite as good as like an iPad or something, but I'd give it about an 8 or a 7.5 out of 10 in terms of responsiveness. I like how clean they kept everything. Not a huge fan of these buttons right here, but I know that that's for the dual climate controls if you get the premium model. Moving along to the other side of the dash here, they have this, again, I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to say it's leather. It doesn't really feel 100% like leather. Let me know in the comment sections if you know. But they have this leather piece that kind of goes over here. In the 2016 model, there was another little compartment right here, and it was a kind of like this material up here. It wasn't the best material, so I'm kind of a fan that they got rid of that, even though that was nice to have that extra storage. So on the driver's seat, there is lumbar support, and you can go forward and back, up and down, and it's just two-way lumbar support. But the kind of annoying thing is there's a lever on the side, and you have to actually pull that lever, and it's manual to go back and forth. On the passenger side, it's fully manual adjustments, forward and back, and then there's also the same lever to go up and down on the passenger side. But one cool thing I'll note, and I think this is because they don't have the electronics down below, is that they have a little storage compartment which I keep some wipes in. You can really keep anything you want, something secretive if you're a secretive person. So moving on to the rest of the dash, they have this nice little LCD screen where you can get a lot of your information, like your range in your car, your average mile per gallon, pretty much the standard stuff. But it is nice that they give you this colored LCD. On the 2015 model, it was one of those 80s looking ones that were not full color. So in the subcompact SUV segment, this begins to be a bit of a problem. I like to lean my seat back, so I can move the back of this a little farther forward for what normal people would do. But even then, I only have about maybe 2 inches of leg room back here, and I'm only 5'10". So in terms of rear seat comfort, it is not the strong suit of this car, and it never is for any car in this segment. But other than that, they kind of stuck to it a little bit, minus this. They have up there where they had the kind of piano gloss. They moved towards this just cheap and very hard plastic material. But other than that, they actually did carry back here with the leather insert on the armrest, which is nice to put your arm on. And then carrying up to the top, they still have the soft touch material on the top. Same on both doors. They give you a nice little Mac pocket and a bottle holder down there, which is pretty cool. In terms of the center armrest, they have this. It's a nice cushiony, very squishy material, which is always nice. And then again, they move back here, and actually this whole center seat here is this faux leather or leather material, which is really nice, because a lot of times when you get cloth material cars, you really sacrifice and you get this nasty, yucky cloth, but it's super hard to clean. So really in here, I would equate these cars to being like when you have Alcantara inserts in cars, except this is just cloth inserts. But the actual quality of these seats are very nice. They have this sort of square pattern, diamond pattern on it, and it actually feels very nice to the touch, which is something you really can't say about a lot of cloth materials in cars. Unfortunately, moving down to here, you don't have any power outlet. I'm assuming there is one on the premium model because there is this unsightly black box there where there should have been one. You get a leather type material right here to put in maps and stuff if you still use those, and on the back of this you get a net. So if you're looking at a subcompact SUV, especially this one, you're probably wondering what the seat fold down configuration is like. I know that was a big one for me, and that's why I was looking at a subcompact SUV versus just a regular compact car. I have a lot of film equipment and I need to be able to fold the seats down, put stuff in there, and then just for regular utility, if I'm going on a trip or something, I want to be able to fold these seats down and maximize my cargo space. So the only semi-annoying thing about this car is that it can be a little tricky to fold the seats down. Still not that big of a deal, it's a minor gripe, but I'm gonna show you how to do that. So you have to go down low and you have to pull this tab right here, which pulls this seat up, and you have to put that. Then you have to go up here, you have to push this headrest down, and then you grab a clip right here and you push it. So usually when I have my seat all the way back to where it's really comfortable for me to sit, this can't come down because the seat is too far back. And that's another kind of annoying issue. So if you're a really tall person, that might not even be possible at all. I have to move it forward a little bit, and then I'm kind of cramped, my knees are cramped, and I can't really drive long distances like that. So that's definitely something to think about if you're looking at this car, or just a subcompact car in general. Maybe you want to jump up to the compact or like a mid-size SUV instead. So when you want to put it back up, it's a little bit of an easier process, but you do have to grab both of these, which you don't have to do in a lot of other cars. You have to grab your seat belts, otherwise they won't be there, and then you press it back down. So again, if you're looking in this segment, cargo space is probably one of the most important aspects of it for you. I'm gonna do kind of a non-scientific test because I'm a very non-scientific person. I didn't do good in science in school, so I kind of just do things based on real world applications. So this is gonna be kind of a test right here. I am 5'10". I can lay, my head hits the seat. I have quite a bit of film gear and I never have a problem getting it all fitting in here. In terms of the actual cargo space, the only thing that I would say that kind of annoys me is this car is a very skinny car. I'm not that tall of a person, and I can touch my arm to each side of it without having to move my body for everyday use and for what most people are going to be using this car as, which is a grocery getter. It does the job just fine. First thing you notice about the Buick Encore when you take off, and this was kind of the same thing when I drove the 15 and the 16 model, is the steering is very nimble and precise. Again, it's not like hard, heavy steering like it's a sports car or anything, but it's definitely very nimble and it's very precise. I used to live downtown in downtown Richmond, and this thing definitely felt at home the most when it was in the city. So if you're thinking about buying this because you commute into an urban environment like a city or something like that, then I would highly recommend this because it's super agile, the steering is super nimble, the extra ground clearance gives you a little bit of leeway if you have a lot of potholes and stuff in your city. I know that Richmond does for sure. Around town, it has enough like low-end power, even though it really is like wanting for power in other areas, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But around town, like getting groceries and stuff, or like I said, if you're commuting into the city, not gonna have an issue with it, I don't think. Definitely, I don't think there's any illusions about getting a subcompact SUV, which is a Buick, that is going to be overpowered. I know that's changing a little bit because Buick's coming out with the new GS, which is supposed to be pretty good, compete with like an Audi S4 or something like that. Just basic, like everyday accelerating, it's not bad. It's not going to blow the doors off you. The 0 to 60 is 8.5 seconds, which in today's age is actually kind of terrible. But again, it is an entry-level subcompact SUV, and it's a Buick, so like you can't really get too mad at it. I will say that when you're on the highway, and I don't have time to do it right now, the passing power is absolutely atrocious. I've gotten a little bit more used to it the more that I've driven with it, but compared to like pretty much any car, I would say, it's kind of shocking how bad it is. I have to absolutely floor it. Like I'm gonna floor it right now, and obviously you can't see the speedometer, but it takes a minute for it to catch gear. And once it starts spooling up there, it gets, you know, it'll get up and go. For me, at least, I think it's kind of borderline, almost like not okay. The only other gripe that I really have, again, around the city, I don't have too many gripes, but in terms of being on the highway, when you get up to speed, and when I say get up to speed, I mean like 70 and above. But when you start getting up to speed, like highway speeds, like above 65, above 70, it starts getting a little squirrely. And what I mean by squirrely is like it kind of darts all over the place. And that, you know, depends on a couple different factors, but the biggest factor I found, which sounds kind of dumb, but I guess it's because they've designed it super light and they've designed it like aerodynamically or whatever for fuel economy, but when there's a lot of wind outside, I literally feel the car getting blown around. And again, I've talked to other people that also have cars in the subcompact segment. They're super light, so if you're not used to it being that light, it'll get tossed around pretty easily, and that can be a little shocking at times. So again, the thing that I'll say about this, and I've had kind of a love-hate relationship with this car at times, I always find myself when I'm driving this car for long distances, like if I have a wedding in like Boston or like super far away, when I'm on the interstate for long extended periods of time, I'm like, damn, I hate this car, like I don't like it. I almost talk myself into like wanting to sell and get something else. And then I drive it around town and I realize that it's perfect. Like that's what it's meant for. So again, if you're looking for something that's a good highway cruiser that you're really going to enjoy taking on long distances, then this probably isn't the car for you. But if you're, you know, a soccer mom, or you're just starting a family, or even if you're like me, like you want a subcompact SUV that has a reasonable amount of amenities and luxury for the price. And by the way, these have stellar reliability ratings. When I was weighing all my options between all the other subcompact SUVs, this one really just seemed to scream at me as the best value, so that's why I went ahead and pulled the trigger and went with it. Floor it again. Yeah, see, it definitely has A little bit of pickup off the line. It does sound like a Dyson vacuum cleaner, but it'll get up and go off the line. It's just on the highway, don't even bother. That's a inside look at my 2017 Buick Encore. I hope this helped you guys out if you guys are looking for a subcompact SUV, or if you're specifically looking at the 2017 or even the 15 or 16 Buick Encore. Really, it's a great car. Most of the gripes that I have about it, again, are just because of the segment. I don't like how squirrely it is on the highway and the lack of power. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm really trying to figure out my space here on YouTube, like what type of videos I should be doing. If you guys have a cool car that you want me to review, or if you have any suggestions and I can try to get my hands on one, or if you're curious about anything and you have any other questions about the Buick, comment below and also let me know, or slide my DMs at any of my social medias. I'll drop the links right there. Yeah, other than that, thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. You taste like the feels of the first time I got to make you feel